I have done a little bit of work here. As I mentioned, I've capped everybody off at level 25 after getting the airship until full recruitment, but I managed to get a whole lot of levels in the Fanatics Tower, Esper levels. And the reason why this works is because the Fanatic Tower battles give you 10 spell points per fight, which is pretty much going to be more than almost anything else that you can possibly fight in the game. The World of Balance fights were only 5, so you were still getting less EP than XP, but with the Fanatics Tower, it's actually possible to get more EP than XP, so everybody's levels, Esper levels, almost caught up with their regular level, but EL caps at 25, so these people can only gain one more Esper level, and then they're done. Everybody's gained more health just from leveling up past 20, although Gal, who doesn't have any HP Espers, you can see that he's only at about 700 under normal circumstances. And it's actually more, because he's got something equipped that gives him slightly more in the way of health. Everybody else has some stuff as well, but I think all three of these people are close to being over 1,000 naturally, which is really helpful just to have these. So, these guys are set up basically to go into Jador and re-recruit Realm. The reason for that is mainly there's a really good relic in there that I'll want to use for Edgar and also for Sabin and Cyan. And it's not too difficult, there's a boss, it's not hard. Also, while I was working on things, I got every single rage for Gao. There are only 64 in Brave New World, down from several hundred. So they're all actually useful for something, as hopefully will be demonstrated here. Setzer has 2 switchblades equipped, not so much because there's anything I want him to steal, but just because they give a lot of speed and he can equip knives, which a lot of people who are mainly spellcasters can't. Let's see, does everybody have for relics? Yeah, just kind of set up to do generic attack in here. I'll have to arrange myself more for the boss once we actually get to it. Fortunately, this isn't a very long dungeon. For the most part, you just have to turn the lights on. I guess I never searched that. I was compelled to search it for no apparent reason. And then you can look at all the portraits. The main ones to check are Gestal's portrait, which isn't technically required, it just gives you a hint to the Phoenix Cave. The flowers, which are a fight, and they don't technically give you anything, they're just a flower fight. These are Nightshades, which are upgraded from the Belladonnas in the Tomb. They have fire and ice weaknesses, and average. Yeah, Sabin should be able to tear them apart with his fire and ice claws. Let's see, what could we pick to take advantage of this? Well, if they're weak to ice, then Mastodon uses 2 different ice attacks, and we got the 1/3, which is absolute 0, which is way stronger. It didn't kill them, though. Gao doesn't have a booster, and Sabin does, so... And Sabin is raising his vigor, so Gao doesn't have that advantage, yet he still did really well. It's just a question of who does better. Oh, look at that! Another absolute 0. He's really showing off at this point. The regen, I think, pushed that other one out of death range. There's no real point in doing that fight, it's just there. The actual fight is this one. Make sure everybody's in pretty good shape. These are human. They like to mute the party, which is actually bad if it hits Setzer, because then he can't cast Bio, which would do really well against these people, but... Oh, and they slept Sabin. However, I'm not super worried about that. I'm going to try Siren, even though I don't think it'll work. I think that auto-berserks everybody, but the one I want to try for this is Colossus. Also, Slot is immune to mute. It's not considered to be. Can they be berserked? Let's find out. that would have set Berserk if it were possible to do so. However, Setzer can Blackjack just fine while muted. Okay, Soul Dancers and Wildcats. The Soul Dancer is like an upgraded Slam Dancer from way back in Zozo. It has very weak physical defense, weak to poison and water, and it's human, so that's easily killed. If I'd given Setzer a Man-Eater, that actually would be even better. And the cats, I believe, are weak to water, low defense. So these enemies have very low defense. Let's try Belladonna, just to see. Yeah, that does El Nino. Probably shouldn't be using Solitaire just because these things have more offense, or physical defense than magic, but after that it doesn't really matter. This chair is a trap. You can avoid the encounter by walking over it that way, but I'm just going to trigger it because why not? We're here, let's have some fun. They were trying, I think, to sleep us. And also to poison us. Let's see if we can get Colossus off here. No, he uses physical. Which isn't bad, necessarily. I was hoping he would use something else. Gao is a little bit of a gamble, but in the World of Ruin, at least, his rages are much more consistent, the ones that are World of Ruin only. So, for example, Mastodon, which uses ice, it's similar to Stray Cat, which has an ice attack, but it has an ice attack as well as its 1/3 attack, so it's always going to do an ice attack. Okay, here's what Colossus does. Starlight, which is a pretty powerful, generic kind of spell. It can also set mute, so it's using it back against us. Let's see. Yeah, it hits pretty hard, although I don't think it muted anybody. But these things, I think, are all pretty much lower physical than magical defense, so it's probably better to just hit them, which Sabin would have been doing, but he's asleep. It's actually hard to tell if these guys are even muted. I don't know if they're even... I think they're vulnerable to it. Yeah, they are vulnerable to mute, so it should work. Anyway. That was a completely unnecessary fight, but I wanted to do it. Soul Dancers and Eagles. Why am I suplexing? That's stupid. He's got Bum Rush now. Let's try Cerberus. That's well, he's in the back row. That's not going to be very good. Cerberus uses Blink, which is basically like throwing a smoke bomb or something. It'll set image on a random party member. That's its 1/3 attack. It's pretty solid as an attacking rage. It doesn't have any special properties other than that, but it is pretty strong. Though, Gao doesn't have his best physical weapon yet. I did, while I was getting the rages, steal a Magic Bone, which is a special thing that gives him bonus magic. That's why I've got him in the back row. Cats are weak to water. Oh, well, of course, cats don't like water. Although, their magic defense being pretty high, it doesn't kill them outright. If Sabin were using his Ocean Claws, that would be better, but then he's also got Poison Claws for humans, and he can't really cover every weakness, so you gotta make a sacrifice somewhere. Plus, he's been spending a lot of time asleep. But Gao comes through. One nice thing about Rages also is that, like slots, it's not frequently countered. There are a few places in the World of Balance where it is, like Dataluma counters it. The Chocobo Hide, that's an upgraded hide. Well, it's not necessarily upgraded, but for Gao's purposes, it might as well be. It's better, I think, in every way, except it has different resistances. But those resistances haven't really been important so far. Is there something else I could use here, just to show off? Nah, I think we'll stick with the Belladonna just for the... Oh, he used the poison attack, which is fine, because there is actually one enemy that's weak to poison. And I accidentally pull off a summon, which casts Re-Rise on the whole party, which, okay, thanks I guess. I doubt that the entire party is going to die in this fight, but hey, if it does, Setzer's got us covered. Now, Setzer can summon pretty much any Esper with the bars, including, you know, summoning Ragnarok in the World of Balance, all sorts of other things. Yeah, see, there's, I think, the cat's countering Blitz. Because they weren't doing that before. The Frostcore gets Doom off. I can't tell if it actually worked or not, but I think it did. Hey, what's up? This is a mod for the game. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's the Brave New World mod, which does a bit of changing and rebalancing to things. Yeah, that's not a weakness hit, I don't think. That's just Sabin hits really hard. The Nirvana Band, which is a special relic that they made in the mod to kind of boost out certain characters. This can be used by Sabin, Edgar, and Cyan, which boosts all damage. It's a physical and a magical booster. For Sabin, that's not really usually a big deal. It does make his Aura Bolt stronger and stuff, but he's more of a physical fighter. Oh, it's not difficult, you just have to patch it, basically. I could probably get you a link, but I don't have a bot for it or anything. 1 second. Let's go back to an old favorite here. Yeah, they're immune to fire, I think. But fortunately, one of his claws isn't a fire claw. Oh, he actually hits the right target for once. See, he's also very fast, because he's ended up with a number of speed levels, which definitely is making him faster than everybody else in this group. These are Atlas Spheres, which they're strong against most things. They resist a lot of status effects, but they're weak to fire, so... Let's see here. Chimera is either going to hit with water for the cat, or with fire for somebody else, so... Yeah, they absorb the water, but Sabin's going to destroy them probably quickly. They actually survived that. They have quite a bit of health, I'm surprised. Their defenses are terrible, or their physical defense is terrible, but other than that, they're not bad. There's Fireball, which probably won't do much for the cat, but it just hit the Atmosphere for a fair amount. It's magic, though, so their magic defense is shrugging that off, but Sabin is hitting it for 3,000 with his Hellclaw, so yeah. that's kind of the way to... It seems like that's kind of the way to go with this particular map area. Things just are not very physically strong. So we may want to try to use Blackjack here instead of Solitaire, because it ignores magic defense. That would be useful. Yeah, now that's something. Setzer can probably afford to cast some magic right here, since he's not really using his MP for much. Now we end up in the chest room, which has a bunch of floating chests. That's from vanilla. This is just a weird area in general. Let's see, what should I be using here? Well, actually, if they're using something that... Yeah, I'll try something that ignores defense. Of course, they're immune to Earth, of course. We like Sleep and Savin', which is probably the most useful thing that they could be doing with this party. Since if he gets counterattacks or anything else off, he's probably going to kill something. That ignores defense. It would be good, but it looks like they're Earth immune here. But again, as long as they don't touch Sabin, they're in some trouble. One second here. So, you step on the shadows under the treasure chests, they fall down, they put you in a fight, you win the fight, in theory. I should probably have Setzer use my man-eaters, really, against these guys. That would work best. In absence of that, I'll just try to defense ignore. Pretty resilient flowers, actually. Shouldn't survive that, though. And then you can open the chest, which there's some money inside. It's a pretty better deal than what was there, I think, in earlier versions of the mod, where it was like some consumables or something. It's at least worth the fight now to get that money. Again, mute, not a big deal, because for the most part actually, this gives me a good opportunity to show off Tumbleweed, which is a rage. And he uses the wrong one, but that's okay. It absorbs some health, so I'm not going to complain. Gao could have done was heal the party of its damage and status ailments. Tumbleweed is a very potent rage for that. There's an X potion, which is really good too. Let's do something here with Setzer. Give him 2 Man-Eaters, and instead of the Annual, let's give him the X-Fight Relic. Now the Darling is human, so it should... I'll use Tumbleweed again, just no one got hurt. I'll use it anyway, just to show it off. So these are hit a human weakness, assuming she doesn't put Setzer to sleep, so... Other than missing, he hits real hard with that, but only again because it's, they're human. But he still does well. Oh, now you're hitting me with Starlight. X-Ether, that's even rarer than an X potion. It's really nice to have. Bioblast is, I think, used to be a Magitech ability. That I think was part of the Rage to begin with, and then of course it also has Bad Breath. Sabin got put to sleep, but he's done his job, so... That's probably a fight counter, actually, now that I think about it. I think they counter fight and something else. Bad Breath does a bunch of statuses. Pretty much is going to make that enemy miserable, but it'll probably also just die in another attack. Yeah. Couldn't last too long. So we'll get that last treasure. Naturally, once I equip Setzer with the anti-human stuff, I only face formations that have 1 human in them. Sunbath is a heal. It's stamina-based, and Gao has a lot of stamina, so it's basically a full party heal. I didn't specifically pick Defender for that, because it's only the 1/3. There's a better ability that gives Sunbath, but we're not using it. And an Elixir, that's good. Now, we have a mini-boss, which it was technically a mini-boss. In Vanilla as well, it wasn't very interesting, and it's still not super interesting, but it's apparently weak to fire and water. Has very low offense, or physical defense, rather. So I'm going to double up on the Hell Claws. It's not human, so I guess I can just switch back to the Switchblades. Switch to the Flame Tongue. I think that just about does it. Fire and water, maybe Chimera would work. Let's see if I have a stronger option. I think I may, actually, in IO. Hey, Spork. Anyway, for the sake of keeping everybody up, I might actually just do Tumbleweed. Got it. Since it has bad physical defense, probably just attack it normally with its weaknesses, which are fire and water, as I mentioned. It does hit kind of hard, but it's not putting anybody to sleep, which it can definitely do. Yeah, see, the fire 2 from the sword did not do quite as well. I'll only put one person to sleep, and Harvester's gonna fix it anyway. So, that's an advantage there for Gao. Harvester is immune to almost all statuses, and it has that effect of restoring everybody's, everything but I think zombie and death. But it dies. It wasn't very strong. It has like 15,000 health. Let's just use this one for fun. Atomic Ray is probably not the best thing to be using there anyway. I wonder if these things can be berserked. I don't think they can. I could have just looked it up, but I'm lazy. Now I'm looking it up as it goes. Okay, yeah, they can be berserked, so they won't do any weird stuff, at least. Just attack. I was hoping he might use Diffuser. But it's not like he can really... or it's not like the cats can really do much now that they're berserked, except attack us, which... it's not that big of a deal. Let's see. Heal everybody up. I don't know if I'll necessarily even need that much MP, so... Okay, now there's a boss coming up. So I want her in the back, because I don't... Edgar still has our crystal sword. That's fine, though. She's just going to be rotating into a support role. Sabin and Setzer... probably... actually, I don't know that I need Setzer for anything. Actually, he could be useful for something. Demon's Bane. So we'll give him that. This is an interesting boss. It's the portrait boss, and it's weak to holy, but it isn't undead, so it's not weak to fire. That's just kind of a marginally interesting factoid about it. Instead of a power glove, let's give her... the extra speed and stamina might help. He's got his boosters there. Okay, I don't want Gao to be using a life bell. And the reason I don't want him to be using a life bell will probably be obvious once I actually start doing it, but let's see here first. What can I use? And the rage belt's not going to help. It's just the stat stick will work. That'll raise his health a little too. So Realm is painting a possessed portrait, which has a demon inside for some reason, and she doesn't actually help. She's just, like, standing there. Now we beat up the portrait. However, we don't do it now, because technically that's the goddess of the portrait, and she will do something mean if you... beat her up now. However, she quickly leaves. And we meet the real boss. Let's see here. This could backfire on me, but I want to try it. Anyway, Sabin's Spirit Claws are a little weak in terms of just what they do, but that's not what I meant to do, but Gao will do it anyway. Re-raise on everybody, although that won't matter to Gao. Because Gao is now raging an undead rage, which means that Gao is, for all intents and purposes, a zombie now. Which is not such a bad thing. And if he actually uses the correct rage, it will be clear why. The Spirit Claws also cast Stop, but he's a boss, that's not gonna happen. Anyway, the weird thing about Orog is it's an unholy zombie enemy, basically, but it casts the Holy Spell, which is a Holy Elemental defense-ignoring spell. So even with Gao's rather meager magic, he can do quite a lot. Now, Setzer is attacking with the Demon's Bane. It's not awesome. It's okay. But this boss does not have that much health, so... Now here's the thing. If you attack the goddess of the portrait, she will counterattack with a death attack. Because you're not supposed to be attacking her. Although I don't think it was supposed to work like that, because my understanding from talking to somebody was that it was not... Being undead was supposed to fix that, but it did not. So, I don't know what happened there. Apparently it's not, despite what I was told by the person who created the mod, a regular death attack. It's something that can also kill undead. That's fine, though. Sabin should pretty much have this. The only thing that I haven't been able to do right now is cast Berserk on Sabin. He would be doing even more damage right now if that were the case. However, if Shadarnuk feels like, you know, hitting Sabin, the guy who can counterattack, then he's welcome to do so. Let's try... Again, Gao just seems to love getting his 1/3 rages instead of the 2/3 that I actually want him to do. Landslide's nothing impressive. Probably almost dead, but let's just do this for fun. Actually, it's probably not a good idea to berserk him here in this fight, but whatever. Since he'll attack the goddess. There we go. Gao's now basically in permanent healing mode, so... For however long this fight continues to last, which is probably not long. Rid of that berserk. Yeah. The whole thing was kind of supposed to be built around the idea that Gao would be immune to death, so I was lied to by the mod maker. He was not, in fact, immune to death when he was raging Orog. But it also doesn't matter because I'm pretty sure Sabin's about to kill him. Most of his other stuff is just kind of an annoyance. He does have quite a lot of magic, though, so he can make things like Flash Rain work. I was lied to, and I'm mad about that. Well, Gao manages to take him out in the end. But my plan did not work the way it was supposed to. So we pick up Starlet, which is for Realm and Setzer of all people. Kind of an odd combo there. But since Setzer's in the party, I can actually show that one off. It gives auto regen, which is pretty neat. It's got some very expensive skills in it, but things that Setzer likes. He didn't have Remedy before, he likes that. Regen X is huge, as is Cure 3. Cure 3 is better for his magic build right now, simply because he's getting more out of it, but Regen X is probably better just to buy, because it's casts Regen on the whole party, which is really nice. And Realm needs this because she's not really much of a healer if she doesn't have any heals, which this Esper gives her. Now, it is expensive because she has only Cure 3, not Cure 2, but Realm also has lots of MP, and she can steal MP, so she's usually pretty good at that. And Regen X, of course, is a big help for her too. It gives her something to do. What we want to do is pick up Grandpa, which we can easily do now that we have Realm. Doesn't really matter who's in the group, just as long as Realm is. This is probably one of the easiest re-recruitments. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it first is because it helps Setzer and Realm, and it gives us 2 characters for only 1 boss, which is pretty nice. You just have to walk in here with Realm and he comes back. Now, the question becomes, who should we go for? But I have a plan, which hopefully will work better than the last one. Edgar, Mog, Gao, and probably Celeste. Yeah, that'll work. What the Moogle Charm does in this mod, it doesn't remove encounters anymore. Instead, it lets Mog, it removes the loss of control when he dances. It also affects his Dragoon build, but I don't have really a Dragoon build, so not going to be important there. So what Edgar can do now is, with his magic build, assuming that both of my ice brands are equipped on somebody. Where did my ice brands go? There's the ice brand. I'm going to give him the Dragoon Seal for jumping, and then instead of the Hero Ring, I'm going to give him the Nirvana Band that I picked up, which increases physical and magical damage. So, in theory, when he jumps with a magic sword, he's doing more damage with the sword and the spell that it casts. We will see if that actually happens. Crystal Sword for the extra magic. I don't know that Edgar really needs the auto haste as much as Mog does. Okay, just get that. Doesn't really matter, but those look good. So of all the things to be going for next, of all the characters to be re-recruiting next, I'm gonna go for Go-Go. The main reason for that is that his dungeon has some great treasure. And he's a good character. Even though he can't get Esper levels in this mod, which everybody else can get, he is so powerful that they had to nerf him a lot anyway, just because his ability to do almost everything is just that good. Actually, let's let Gao cast Float. I think everybody in this party can cast Float, now that I think about it. Half of them don't need to, but it's still nice. So we wander around Crescent Isle until we meet the Zone Eater, which is technically a boss now. You can't just let it eat you. It will actually... So we'll use Snowball. It has a chance to blind him, which would be good if he ends up counterattacking or anything. Hopefully it will work. He's immune to wind, so Snowman Jazz Blizzard will not be as effective as expected. That's okay, Mog can do other things. Let's see how Edgar does with this. That's nice, Gal. It's very nice, actually. This instead. Cave-In's not what I wanted, but you notice that now, because he has the Moogle Charm equipped, he's not losing control, so you can switch dances. He can still stumble. That is still a possibility. But it's based on his stamina now, instead of just being 50% chance to fail on non-native terrain. So he's got quite a lot of stamina right now, and can actually pretty well resist problems if there are any. It's a bit risky, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do that. Because I can't be guaranteed that Mog is going to actually heal. He does have very powerful heal dances, but you can never be totally certain of them. However, Gal will be fine, because no matter what he does... Oh, Wild Boars, that's the 1 in 16 chance rage, so it's quite a lot of defense ignoring damage there. We've also, of course, got Ice 3. Basically, you just exploit the ice weakness. And it's not a very sophisticated boss. It won't try to stop you too much from avoiding earth attacks and the like. It's just kind of there to not make it completely trivial to get inside. You can't just stand around and let it eat you. You have to actually beat it up until it eats you. Which might actually be bad if Edgar's in the air. Now, because of Gao's Rage, I believe he's immune to wind, so Cyclonic is doing 0, because it can't do fractional damage if it can't do damage at all. So he's blocking wind, that makes it really easy on him. And we get a Spell, which is pretty good. The spellcast rate, I think, is the better of the two. Fortunately, it's not trying to remove our float, which I think it can do. Let's see here. Alright, what was I doing there? Okay, we're getting absolute 0 quite a bit, which is very nice to have. Edgar's cast kind of pointless, but I can't complain. Now, because of the Nirvana Band improving magic, it also improves Edgar's healing. So his Cure 2, even though he doesn't get anything better than Cure 2, it's pretty decent. It's a very potent heal, which gives his magic build something. I don't want to jump right now because I feel like he's close to being dead. I don't recall what happens if Edgar's in the air and it eats everybody, so I'm not going to chance it. Could also have drilled him. Now that I think about it, I should have done that a long time ago. And it doesn't matter because he's going to eat us now. Good! Now, you can actually kill the Zone Eater, but doing that does nothing. It'll just come back. Which you would probably want it to do anyway, because you certainly don't want it to go away forever. Okay, Ogre is an undead. I'm not sure what Wart Pucks do. Let me see here. Weak to ice. They got Safe and Shell, though. So Orog will probably actually be decent here, because if it holies the Orog, so much the better. He tried to zombie there, but it did not work. I think this is a... yeah, Dust Requiem native place. Which is actually useful, because Moonlight there does holy damage, so it did a ton to Ogre. Or Orog, or whichever variant they are. So I may as well try jumping on him. Oh, right. I healed him because he's undead, and now he died. I think the fight's about over, though. Good old quarter. Mog has a lot of stamina, though, so he has a good chance to avoid it. Die already. Okay, now for the fun of the guys who wander back and forth and bump you off ledges. Genji armor, that's nice. Also, I managed to somehow dodge that guy. Although I don't want to do that, because I actually want to be knocked down. So there's treasure down below. Ether, and I believe the Blizzard Orb is in this one. Of course I would misstep, and now I have to deal with some crud here. What would be good here? Probably just Colossus. Can't remember any weaknesses here anyway. Dusk Requiem has a number of kill attacks that I think can also work well on undead, so I'll give it a try. Of course he only uses Cave-In, which is, like, terrible, and I wish Dance didn't even have it, but it worked there, so alright. Oh yeah, Edgar's got the flash. It likes to sneeze. Sneeze just ejects somebody from the party, or from the battle. It's not really a big deal. It's just a thing I think that this particular type of monster can do. These are relatively tough just because it's a fairly dangerous dungeon. There's the Blizzard Orb. Now, this is cool. Umaro can use it, as can Gao. And it gives him some elemental defense, and it's also a magic booster, which are quite rare. Edgar has one with the Nirvana Band, and now Gao has one with the Blizzard Orb. Celeste doesn't have one, she really can't get it, so it's really nice to have. The question is, what will work best against these? There's a ninja, so what would work best against those guys? Poison works against them, but there's an undead, so we don't want that. Maybe something with fire. Of course he uses the bolt version instead, but I should be expecting that by now. However, Mog has something up his sleeve for that ninja. And he can't avoid it because he's invisible. Now he's dead. Now that's not as strong as it normally would be, but these things have pretty low magic defense, so the flash is going to kick their asses. Warp Puck, though, has very high defense, so the flash doesn't hurt it anywhere near as hard. Alright, that's what I was hoping that you would actually do. Because that's defense ignoring. Whee! Bye, Gao. Hopefully this guy's almost dead. No, of course, he's gonna stay alive just long enough to quarter us and waste more of our MP. What a dick. Not sure what statuses they're weak to, let's see. They're immune to death, berserk, and blind, but everything else should work. She's out of MP. Boy, if only there were a solution for that. I mean, besides using items. Because there is a solution for that. And we are hopefully about to find it. But now we must wait for approximately 1,000 years for the random pathing on this guy to move him all the way to the right. So that he doesn't bump us off, because we literally have no other option but to wait. And sit here. And wait. And wait, because his pathing is completely random. And he got us anyway. Fucking great. Fuck you guys, I'm not fighting you. The fact that that's, like, completely random whether he walks left or right is really aggravating, because he'll just sit there and fucking troll you forever. And there is no other way past except for him to move. So of course he'll be all the way over on the right when you need to get down there, but the instant that... Can I not get in an encounter every 5 steps, please? I'm not even gonna fight this shit, it's not worth it. Of course, due to the NATV thing, the patch, every enemy gets to take a full turn against you every time a fight starts before you can do anything. So that is kind of annoying. Okay. Let's try baiting him. Come on, you asshole. We're over here. Okay, we'll hide over here. Wait for that guy to... Fuck! Come on! You literally have no margin for error there. If it walks left, you get knocked off. Period. Because fuck you, this isn't a big enough waste of my time. This isn't even hard, it's just tedious. The good news is the treasure in here is really worth it, so... It's annoying, but less annoying when we actually get the stuff in there. See, even with all his speed, and getting full ATB at the very start of the fight, one of the enemies still gets an attack off. Okay. Probably going to get bumped off on the way back, but the Sage Stone is really nice. The Sage Stone is, and the X Magic Relic allows you to cast the double cast, but it is restricted to 3 characters, Mog, Strago, and Locke, of all people. And it's actually useful on all 3 of them to an extent, so it's not a gimmick. Yeah, I had to do that. Didn't really have much choice. It's not a gimmick at all. It's really useful for the 3 people who have it, but they do have somewhat limited magic selections, so it's not like you can put it on Terra and just nuke everybody. You have to be clever about it. Like, if you're up against something that's weak to poison, then Mog is going to be able to double cast Bio. That's really effective. Strago can use it for utility, like he can double cast Shell, casting it on 2 different people in one go. He can also, there's also something he gets later that is pretty neat that works with it. And on Locke, Locke actually gets access to Fire 3, of all things, from Phoenix, so he can double cast Fire 3. Nobody else gets to double cast a Tier 3 element. But Locke, of course, is not as good a caster as a lot of people are, so you kind of have to stack him and set him up right. Now this time we just need for him to go, and then we can go over here. Save point here, which is helpful because the next section has instant game over possibilities, which that's just because of what it is. It's got nothing to do with the mod, it's just this is an actual thing in the game. Red Cap is a really good hat. Most everybody can use it. Aegis Shield is a haste granting shield, I believe. It has high block rates, but average defense. Instead of running to the safe spot, which I can never remember where that is, I'm just gonna run and go. Okay, Ninja Star. That's an extra Ninja Star, which is nice. Let's see here. Monk can use the shield, which means that he can unequip Palador, and Edgar can take it. Very close to the end here, but there is one treasure left to get. Requires this minor puzzle. The mana battery. This replaced, I think, the defibrillator replaced the air anchor, and this replaced, I think, the one that creates weaknesses. The mana battery is just a tool, so you're like, okay, so what? But it's really good. Let's see here. Something like that. Of course, it only works in combat, and we're not in combat, but if we get in combat, I can show off what it does. And there's Go-Go! So that finishes that dungeon. Fortunately, you can warp out of the Zone Eater. And it just puts you right back where you were, where you fought it. So that's done, which is nice. I want to heal up before we do. One of the last things I was planning to do here. The Mazda is a good place to go because it's 1 gold heal. You can also go to Narsh and use the beginner school. It's right inside. There is technically enemies in Narsh now, but it's not really a big deal. Who is going to be joining us? Let's take everybody's stuff off. We want to get Terra back, but in order to do that, we're going to need to fight Funbaba again. He's a little tougher, and he has a gimmick, the same thing as in Vanilla, where he'll knock 2 people out of the party. He's weak to fire, but he has safe. So, while saving could do pretty well, his magic defense is quite low, so odds are we want somebody who can use magic that'll inflict fire damage. Strigo would be an obvious choice. He's not leveled up, though. Go-Go is also not leveled up. Wouldn't really matter, but Gao is obviously a possible choice, and he can do something different in the next phases, depending on what happens. Edgar and these two can use Fire Sword, so the question just becomes who else to bring. Setzer doesn't have any fire stuff, but he can heal and do damage, so that's a possibility. Sabin, he can definitely do damage. These two can cast Mute, which is good. Not sure anybody else here can. I might want Mog as well, with a different setup here. Okay, so Edgar can stay in the back. These two can go to the front. What I would do is give Mog a Fire Rod. I want to give Gao the red cap, actually. He needs the HP more than Mog does. I'm going to give him the Circlet. And either Force Armor or Light Robe is better for him, I think. Edgar, give him either a Fire Lance or a Flame Tongue, which, given that Funbaba's defenses are better than... If we had Crystal Equipment, that would also be helpful here. He can cast Bolt 3, and he can be muted, but he's no longer as easy to shut down by muting as he used to be. Force Armor would basically avoid that issue. Flame Tongue. Diamond isn't helpful against this, because Diamond, I think, does Wind or something. Or am I mixing them up? Either way. Not the most useful thing. But basically the idea would be Edgar and Celeste are not going to be primary damage dealers, but if both Mog and Gao get knocked out of the party for the next phase, then they are capable of doing fire damage, which is good. I probably don't want that. That's probably okay. Or the Dragoon Seal, actually. Let's go with that. What's the Moogle Charm for the speed, and Sage Stone not really helpful here. But what would we like? He could also Dragoon with a Rod. It does work, but the Rod auto crit bonus is probably better, especially if I do a certain thing that I'm thinking of doing. Maybe the Hero Ring, because he is in the front. He needs it more than she does. Death Ward works well for her. Cape is good. The Ribbon is also potentially good. Or just the Stat Stick, I guess. She has an Esper, actually, that will have bolt damage, so that's actually not a bad idea. Edgar takes Palador for the auto haste. Mog's already got it from his shield. Having wind damage, I'm not sure if I need that or not. It could be useful, but I think his hide might, or whatever he's got equipped might work. Fenrir we want. Note that this thing actually shows the Esper that's equipped. They hack that in. So we'll have the Blizzard Orb, because it's pretty useful. And I guess the Life Bell for auto regen might be good, or just the Stat Stick for more speed. There we go. Didn't run into Doomgaze yet. The mod actually gives you the option to find him yourself. Like, you'll select it and it'll fly around and eventually encounter him, which is neat, because In the base game, all you can do is really just fly around and hope that it's there, which you can't do in this. Actually, before I fight him, I may as well rest. I'll take a quick bathroom break myself. I also want to make sure everybody is floating, because, as we saw in that very first fight with him, he does use magnitude, especially it seems if he's been muted, which makes sense, because otherwise he would have no way. So we have multiple people who can slow, multiple people who can haste, multiple people who can do fire, so I think that covers us about as well as anything is going to. Do here. Go over to this building. Follow the dog. To the secret baby cave. No one volunteers to help, so we're just required to do it ourselves. Thanks a lot, everybody. You're lucky we were here. I don't know if he's walking through water or what, but anyway. Now we got a real fight. So, Gao can now haste the entire party, although Edgar and Mog are already hasted. That's fine, though. We're going to try to mute him. If we can. That'll prevent some of his counters, but not all of them. And if that sticks, we can slow him as well. Yeah, okay, good. Could be worse. What I'm also going to do, to deal with his physical counters, is try and summon Fenrir. Oh, he missed Edgar. That's actually nice. Drill him. And we're gonna cast Berserk on Mog. Which only really helps his physical attacks, but it's still nice to have. I'm going to use Atomic Ray from Io, which is really nice. Now here's what he does that he didn't used to do. He now uses Remedy on himself if he's muted. So no longer quite so easily escape his magical counters. Although he can use Avalanche and Magnitude regardless, so you're not safe just because you have him muted. physical attack's not terribly impressive, so Edgar will probably just stay on the ground unless we need him to. Gao, however, is doing quite a bang-up job on him. Has his Mog when the Fire 2 goes off. Now, the Fire 2 is not that strong. Oh, and we're already in Phase 2. Who are we losing? Mog, okay, that's fine. And Gao, okay. Yeah, both of our high offense characters, naturally. However, we do have a way around this. Because Terra joins. Get permanent morph status. And we have to fight all over again with our buffs gone. Thanks a lot, Terra. Okay, first things first. Again, try to mute and slow him. Terra paced herself. The good news is that since both of my support characters are here, could be worse. Of course, now she's gonna, like, almost die, of course. Can Edgar get to her in time? I guess so. Now, she probably should move to the back, but I'm just gonna have her save herself instead. Yeah, he uses Blowfish on a timer, so you need to be attacking him, which I haven't been able to do because of all the setup I'm doing, but I can start doing it now. But this gives us a good opportunity to show off the defibrillator, which basically just healed Terra for all of her health, so it was essentially life 2. So we're gonna attack just to make sure he's not gonna Blowfish us, and drill. Oh, and he's stinged himself, that's new. Slow him. The good news is, as long as I keep attacking him, he won't use Blowfish again. The problem is that now he's pasted, so I have to slow sticks. Not that it's a problem if it doesn't, because literally all 3 of the people in our party can cast it. And his Bolt 3 was not quite as dangerous as advertised. Even so, let's just stop that. Thank you. Fortunately, Terra's in the back row, so... As long as you can keep Terra alive, which admittedly is hard depending on what her Esper levels are like. I have a lot of Unicorn, so she has lots of health. And she's also high enough level to have known Fire 3, although they gave Fire 3 to her at a much lower level in this mod. I think she learned it at 20, so she's had it for a while. I can do a number on him. Almost as good as Gao's. Of course, Gao's is with a booster, and hers is with the morph boost, so... It's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I think he's actually okay. Here, let's try the mana battery just for fun. Actually, I probably should have used it on Terra. But what the mana battery does is, based on his magic power, it gives them MP. It's basically like using a tincture or something for free. Anyway, he dies. The important thing was just to keep pressure on him so that they wouldn't be hitting Terra instantly, but once they were able to keep her up, and the defibrillator really helped out there. So that's one thing Magic Edgar can do that other Edgars definitely cannot. No one else could have essentially cast Life 2 on Terra right there. Okay, kids, I know I'm literally the only thing standing between you and annihilation in this terrible world, but I gotta go. See ya! I mean, I guess technically those two are, like, almost adults. But the rest of those kids are screwed. Interestingly, there's apparently a bug in this version where hurricanes sometimes will not knock 2 people out of the party, so you'll end up having 4 for the second phase, which is nice. I mean, it's cool to have that. But the people who got knocked out with Hurricane are all the way back in the airship. They were literally removed from the party. There's a bug that I don't think is possible anymore in this mod, but it was possible in vanilla and other versions of Final Fantasy VI to actually completely avoid Hurricane entirely, but still get into the second phase, which would force Terra into a party of 4 people already, giving you a party of 5, and then the game would soft lock because it didn't know what to do. So, see who all we still got, or got, rather. So, we've gotten 8 out of the 14 party members. We still need Cyan, Locke, Umaro, and who else am I blanking on? I'm sure I will feel really bad about this, whoever they are. So there's only 2 missing spots, so there's 4 people left. Who was that? Oh, Shadow, right. So, Shadow is actually someone we might want to go for next, after we get these folks up, because some of these guys can do a number on the boss of the Cave on the Veldt, so that's a possibility. Technically, though, I can do things in any order if I really want to. I could also fight Doomgaze. No need to wait on that, it would help Realm a lot. And there's a lot of other things I can do, but for now, I'm gonna call it. We did pretty decently. Some of my plans did not work as well as I was hoping that they would, but outside of that, not too bad. Funbaba especially went relatively okay, about as well as could have been expected if our 2 main damage dealers got knocked out. Fortunately, the Edgar-Celeste part pairing basically has everything that shuts him down between the 2 of them, and they have redundancy on it, so like if Mute missed, which it does often, then you can have somebody else recast it, and then all 3 of the people who were in the battle in the second phase ended up having slow, so that helped. Plus they all had access to some kind of fire damage, and Terra came back with Fire 3, which is a big help. Now for Terra, we're going to be doing something pretty special soon. That may necessitate going after a weird thing first, but we can definitely get that done next time. That should be interesting, because it's a build that is very popular, but one that I never really did with all the capacities that it has, so I'll be interested to see how it works out. So until then, I'm going to pause for a bit. I may play something else later, but I probably won't play this again tonight. Alright then.